We're going to go ahead and, of course, the last Saturday of the month is here, and it is, what is it, guys?
It's G.A.M.E Movie Empire.
That's right, G.A.M.E Movie Empire. So without any further delays, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Arthur and Alex, and I'm going to sit back and relax, and I've got a lot of questions too, but I'm curious to get all your input on Sundance and Comic-Con and everything, and our fine guest here tonight.
Totally. So, if you don't mind, do you mind if I...
No.
Oh, Arthur's given me permission to begin the show. First, just as always, as we always do to start the show, I know we always thank people, but we would like to thank Pat, because without Pat, this would not have happened. So, Pat, this was his idea.
It's an honor to have you guys here.
Mean,
it's a lot of fun, and it is fringy because it is different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's different, and it's, it has all the cool stuff that you talk about. So, it's right on there. So, Thank you so much for inviting us and having us on the show. So, we have a lot to talk about today. We just went to our local Comic-Con here in Utah called the Fan X. We're going to talk all about that. We also got to be press at Sundance, and we got to meet some very interesting, awesome celebrities. And we're going to play some clips for you live today, and then tell you where we get to where you can go and watch the full interviews. But we couldn't talk about all this stuff without our very special guest and our dear friend. We have our guest here. He is a YouTuber. He's also, I'm going to say it, a Nintendo historian. Or at least aspires to be. I feel like he is. And we all call him by his YouTube name, which is sonictoast. So, hello, sonictoast. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm glad to be here, Watson. Thank you for the invite. And I'm excited for what we're going to talk about tonight.
Totally. Could you just tell our viewers a little bit about you and tell them, just why you think you would be, why we chose you to talk to us about Comic-Con and stuff like that?
Why you chose me, I have no idea. It might be the new deodorant I put on this morning. You just want to smell it all night. But honestly,
thank you for putting some deodorant on. We're in a very close quarters, so thank you.
Nice and cozy. This is the way we like it. Yeah. Anyway, so yes, like you said, I'm a YouTuber. Very much emphasize on Nintendo and Sega. Those are my two favorite companies ever since the console wars back in the days. And so I kind of geek out about everything having to do with those, and I try to learn everything that I can about those things, so I guess maybe that gives me some credentials in being able to talk about this stuff with you guys.
Totally. And then you also go to the Comic-Cons, so we feel like it was perfect.
So. I thought it was because of his mustache.
That was actually the key thing. That was the cherry on top that we were like, yes, your mustache.
Well, I'm like the only one in this room who doesn't have a beard, so if you watch Dexter's Laboratory, they say real men have beards. But the Hot Rod, that movie, they say, real men have mustaches. They don't say anything about beards there.
Yeah, I actually saw a meme where it was all the princesses from Disney, and then it said princes don't have beards. And then it showed all the kings, and it said kings do, and all the kings had beards. So, you might want to think about getting a beard.
Well, Peach digs the stash.
Oh, that's true. That is true. So,
well, going back to the princes, does Simba count as a prince? Because when he grew out that mane, that's kind of like a beard, right?
That might be. Maybe manes are included on that. So, well, cool. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get started. We have a lot of awesome prizes to give away as well during the show.
Nice.
And we have our chat here. If you go to GameandMovieEmpire.com, scroll all the way down to the bottom, you can find the chat room. We all have a bunch of people in the chat. Hey, Bill Forte's on there. And he's saying, thanks, Pat, for, you're saying awesome for him. And he says, hello, sonictoast. So...
hi, Bill.
So, yeah, as things get rolling, please call in. And if you went to our local Comic-Con and if you have things you want to talk about or you have input about what we're going to talk about, please feel free to do so. So let's jump in because I know that these commercials come up quick, come up and surprise you. So first we wanted to start off with just our thoughts of Comic-Con in general, and kind of this. We'll talk about this year specifically, and then we'll kind of go into more of the.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah, please.
Just for our listeners, that of course, we're here in Salt Lake, we're on the air, and of course throughout the country on the internet. But being that we're also on worldwide, globally through our shortwave partner, are there Comic-Con events in other countries, or is this Comic-Con kind of a a U.S. thing, or does this exist in other places around the world?
Well, you know anything about that?
There probably aren't geeks in other countries.
I don't know anything about Comic-Con in other countries, but I know I like to call it Sonic Con. They have Sonic the Hedgehog conventions all over Europe because he's a much more popular hedgehog there than he is here. They do have him here also, but
so the gaming is a worldwide thing.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think also a big thing is, one of the reasons why the geek culture thrives is because of, one of the biggest, most populated countries, Asia, is chock full of, influential people that, Nintendo is over there, and they're the reasons that gaming is the way it is today.
Gotcha. I just was curious and again, if people out of the country want to call in and talk about it, go ahead and give us a call. We've got the 1-800 number. Love to hear about your input from other places, from the other side of the pond, the other countries, what it's like to go to these type of things.
I'm sure they do. They got to have some kind of cons and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I haven't heard of any of them personally.
They're so highly publicized here. So
yeah,
sorry, just curious.
No, that's a really good question. We'll have to research that. Yeah. But for those who are listening in, Comic-Con is actually fairly new to us. Our local Comic-Con here in Salt Lake City. So it started about 2 years ago, I believe. Am I right? I think.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, it started about 2 years ago and has been going pretty strong. It's actually we went to their press event before everything, and the mayor of Salt Lake City said something that was really cool. Is he said that he's basically saying he said that it's changing the way we live here in Utah. And I thought that was really interesting because I think it's true. Ever since Comic-Con started, we started to see billboards with Yoda. We started to see all these companies advertising using I use this word because it's easy to say, nerdy type things. And so I really think it is. So that's maybe a good question. How do you feel like Comic-Con has improved Utah as a whole? What do you think, Sonic?
Well, honestly, I feel like Comic-Con has helped, nerds, geeks come together in a very social way to meet other people that share similar interests. In a way, I feel like it's made something that was socially unacceptable, maybe when we were kids on the playground, feel a lot more mainstream cool.
All right, everybody, and we are back. Fringe Radio presents the G.A.M.E Movie Empire Show. We are here with Pat, the man, the producer. We're also here with Arthur.
That's me.
I am Watson, or Waddy McFly, and we also have our special guest tonight here, Sonic Toast.
Toast.
There you go. So we were kind of interrupted a bit by the commercial, as we always are. We were talking about our local Comic-Con, and our mayor at the press event said that it's changing the way that us Utah people are living and experiencing. And Sonic was giving us a really cool insight, and we kind of got interrupted there. So let's go over again what you were saying. You were talking about the playground or something like that.
Okay, well, this was my personal experience. When I was a kid, I would go to school wearing a Ninja Turtle t-shirt. They were really big back in the day.
Right.
And just being tormented by everyone and anyone for liking Ninja Turtles. Same thing for wearing a Mario t-shirt. Mm-hmm. Sure, everyone had a Nintendo back home. You go to school wearing the t-shirt, and they just start, heckling you for who knows what reason. you go to somewhere like Comic-Con, you see adults, you see kids, you see teenagers, whoever, dressed like Ninja Turtles, dressed like Nintendo characters, Star Wars, whatever. All these things that, whatever kind of people would make fun of a nerd or a geek on the playground.
It's funny because now it's almost like if you don't wear those things, you could get made fun of. Or like if you're like, I don't like Ninja Turtles, I've seen people like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Or, I don't like Mario. Or they're like, what? Like, it kind of seems like, the nerds are becoming the cool kids. It's like, it's kind of interesting that's happened.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely much more geek-friendly culture. Like, it wasn't so... But I think the internet kind of brings everyone together and everyone just, like, kind of is like, yeah, we like this stuff, right? I mean...
Yeah, I think what's also great, and I'm happy... that the geek culture is becoming more popular, because I feel like the geek culture is more inviting. It is more accepting of other people's differences. And I mean, people wear Deadpool costumes, and who cares if you're, white, African American, Mexican? It doesn't matter. Like, you dress up and you show your love for what you love, and then you always find somebody that has that common ground.
Oh, goodness. Did you guys see the Deadpool family at Comic-Con?
No, that's awesome.
Yeah, mom, dad, kids, all of them dressed like Deadpool.
Well, that is...
Yeah, little girl with a little
great.
bow on top of the Deadpool costume, is hilarious.
That is great. I did see a family where it was like all Star Wars. So there was a sand person, a stormtrooper, and then I think Leia, and then there was a Jawa. Like, they had all the major characters. It was super, super awesome. So I'm going to go to the chat here, and I just want to acknowledge you guys here. Adam, this is his first time. Well, hello. I'm glad you're here. If someone told me they hadn't heard of Mario, I'd cry. I agree. It would be pretty terrible. Let's see. I think Donkey Kong was first, is what one say. What do you have to say about that?
Donkey Kong, the name of the game was Donkey Kong back in 81, and
there you go.
Mario was the hero, though.
Oh, that's true.
Even though his name wasn't Mario yet, it was Jumpman, or the Brave Carpenter.
Oh, really? That's what they called him
Or
back
Mr.
then?
Video. He had lots of names before he officially became Mario.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. So that's cool. Awesome. Yeah, go ahead and jump on the chat if you want to keep talking to us. So, someone asked us Bill asked us any new movies, games, etc. to look forward to. So I assume in 2014. Let's start with
15.
you.
It's 2015.
2015. I haven't done that yet. So we're almost in February, and this is my first mess up. So that's pretty cool. Let's start with you, Sonic. What are some games or movies that you're excited to see?
Well, 2014 was amazing with the amount of games that we got. So honestly, I'm still trying to catch up with all those.
What are you playing now?
Well, Smash Brothers on Wii U, I wish I had more time. I've mainly been doing the 3DS version because you can play it on the go. Mm-hmm. But the Wii U version, I got to catch up on. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker also is another fantastic one. And then there's Mario, or this might be 2013. It was Mario and Luigi Dream Team. Is one that I'm just hooked on right now.
Nice. Okay. Awesome. Let's see. For me, what I'm excited for is the new Avengers movie. Also, obviously, there's a little movie coming out. It's just a little indie flick that's coming out in December. Star Wars. I don't know. Who
Star
knows
what?
That? Oh, it's called Star Wars.
Really?
Yeah, it's a good one. I'll let you borrow mine. But let's see what else is coming up. And then the new Zelda. I'm really excited for that. It's probably what's going to get me to the point of buying a Wii U. And the new Batman game. So, yeah. What about you,
Fantastic
Arthur?
Four.
Oh, the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Is that coming out this year?
Yep.
Oh, well, there you go
July.
then. Yeah, that's right.
You showed me the trailer, remember?
Yeah, the superheroes are taking over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. I'm going to start with Jupiter Ascending just because I love the Wachowskis, and I'm really hopeful for
Get to
this
see
movie.
that early.
We hope.
Wasn't that supposed to open in 2014? Did that get pushed off?
It got pushed for some reason. And I don't know if there were like some reshoots or what exactly went on, but yeah, it was pushed like several months. So I don't know what that was about. But I mean, definitely definitely the Avengers. I mean, man, I am really loving what Marvel is putting down lately. And, the games that have really been interesting me lately are these really cool, old school indie titles. And there's a lot of them on, Greenlight, and it's just, I'm overwhelmed every time, they, every week, new games are coming out, and it's just oh, I need it.
Yep. Totally. Well, cool. Thank you for that question. Let's get back on to subject. So I wanted to talk about just in general how we feel like things have changed since the beginning. I mean, the way they do things have been different, and especially prices and stuff like that. I guess, and not just with this Comic-Con specifically, but one of the things that we always talk about is it's kind of an interesting experience because let me tell you how my Comic-Con experience goes. I show up, I spend way more money than I need to, I get poor, and then I come home exhausted. But I mean, it's just interesting. So how do you guys feel that how Comic-Con does its things with pricing and maybe how they reveal their guests or things like that? What do you guys think?
Personally, I think they're doing a really good job with the hype, how they're saving some of the guest announcements, panel announcements until the day of, a few days before. That's always exciting, keeps you going back to the Facebook page. I think that's a really good way to do it because it makes it so it's something I guess it makes it so it's something we're looking forward to, all the time. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think they do a really good job of always having something to talk about and always having a social presence online. And I think that's really good for an organization like that.
Yeah, something that, I think that's one of the biggest reasons why they have become so successful is they are very good at advertising. They're very good at doing contests. And I think it's good of them that they give out so many free tickets. I think they do so many Twitter contests. They do so many Facebook contests. And, for the most part, they've been pretty accommodating and things to their fans. So how do you feel like their selection of let's before we get to celebrities, let's talk about artists. How do you guys feel like their artists and things like that? How do you feel like their selection when it comes to that?
Personally, I don't pay too much attention to the artists. Last year I did buy a couple of posters that an artist did. I just thought were incredible. Mm-hmm. But besides that, the celebrities kind of take front and center.
Yeah, they tend to do that. Now, me and Arthur, we spend quite a bit of time looking at all the artists' stuff. So what about you? What do you think?
Well, I feel like a kid in a candy store. You're like, oh my gosh, I don't have a print like this. I don't have this. And I like more kind of a realistic style of art. And there was one that I really liked. He was called American Discord. Really nice guy. And I got some Nightmare Before Christmas prints, Gremlins prints, Star Wars. But yeah, it's fun. That's my favorite part, I think, is just looking at all the art, whether or not you even buy any of it. It's just really, really impressive what some people do.
That was something I did this year. In years past, I never did. But I lucked out, and I don't know if you guys had a chance to meet Dave Eves. He had all the Star Wars. I picked up one of his prints of the Blue Angels flying and the fighter jets and the Enterprise flying, going into battle.
Oh, that was totally
He's worked on all the Star Trek movies from 5 forward, the Next Generation. He's a conceptual artist. He will be on the program. I've invited him to come on. But I actually bought a print. And the prices were fair. But here's my question that I was asked by a listener. With all this copyright, okay, when you walk down these rows, you see all the different variants of Superman and Iron Man and stuff. What is the licensing legality on that? I'm just curious because if Marvel owns the rights to Spider-Man, and you see so many variants of Spider-Man, I'm just curious if any artists could chime in, or if you would know, how do they? Is it just freedom of expression, or how do they get away with doing that?
Well, really, as long as they create it 100%, then it's theirs.
It's okay.
Yeah, okay. If they take a clip from the movie, or if they take one of the comic books, they can even re-sketch from a comic book. But if they take a page from their comic book and don't alter it in any way and try and sell it off as their own, that's when it becomes an issue.
Gotcha.
So that's why there's so many variants and stuff like that. So as long as and even on YouTube, there's tons of artists drawing their own. I saw a Doctor Who, Back to the Future mashup, and it was all animated, but they used, but because it was animated, and it was fine. So, what were you going to say? Something? Sorry.
Well, I was just speaking of mashups. I really love mashup. There's one really cool one that was
And you're talking about art?
Yes, art mashups, I should say. There's one really cool one that was Link as Luke Skywalker.
Oh, nice. Where was that one? I wanted that one.
Well, it was in the T-shirts, actually.
Oh, okay.
But
even cooler.
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously. But there's one that I got last time that was Darth Vader fighting aliens from Ridley Scott's Alien.
That one's
awesome. I just love that. Do you have a favorite mashup that you saw or that you like, Sonic Toast?
Oh boy, on the spot here, I'm trying to think now.
Well, Nintendo mashes up everything, so I guess that makes it easy for you.
Yeah. Nothing comes to mind immediately.
Well,
but
you're easy. You're easy on that one, like I said, because everything's already mashed up. With my art, and I really like that they're very big on. We had Chris Bodley here not too long ago, and he had his own booth, and it was awesome. I really like the abstract. I like seeing. I really love seeing the Final Supper. But instead of Final Supper, it's the crew from Serenity. Or, I really like, let's see, this time I bought a Doctor Who from Chris Bodley where it was him and it was the comic book strip. And then I've also, what else did I get? Oh, and I got these really awesome, this guy takes these records and spray paints on them, and he makes I got a Doc Brown one where it's his face when he's just saw his DeLorean travel back in time, and he's holy crap. Oh, actually went to the future. But yeah, anyways, so I got what I really like is I really like the art. I think that's my favorite. The floor in general is my favorite because you're surrounded by all this art. You're surrounded by all these people that have awesome costumes. You do have those annoying people that are trying to get you to go on a cruise or trying to get you to sign up for their thing, and But overall, I really, really, really enjoy that. So,
and I think the prices, as far as what the vendors were charging, was definitely better. Some of the artwork was really crazy off the wall. But a lot of the newer vendors, and even like Dave, $10 for a big print wasn't bad.
Oh yeah,
it seemed like it was quite a bit more affordable this year versus the other events.
Yeah, and another cool thing about having these guys come and they're the artists, they're the ones selling it. The cool thing about that is that they get to do tons of cool like this guy who sold me the records was dude, I was so into him. He's look, man, if you really want to buy these, he's I'll throw in this free magnet and I'll throw in an extra record for you. It's really cool because you get and Chris Bodley has a really cool thing where if you buy if you buy one of his prints for $20, the rest are $10. It's really cool and you get a really good variety and a good yeah, you're right, like you were saying, good prices for what it was.
Yeah, they're very generous, I found. I just got 2 or 3 free prints when I bought a couple sets from one of the vendors. I think the reason that they're so aggressive with their pricing is probably because it's just there's so much competition, so many artists. I mean, there's a lot of variety as well, which is good, but yeah. So it is time for a commercial break. We will be back in just a few minutes.
You've been thinking about moving over to solar power for your home. So are a lot of other people, which is why some power companies are pushing for extra fees to make up the difference. Is it finally happening? Is solar power actually becoming a threat to the old power conglomerates? Don't fund Big Power's losses while everybody else goes solar. Get caught in the middle or go with a trusted local solar company and actually own it and reduce your energy bill with no down payment, interest, or payments for a whole year. Get tax breaks and big monthly energy savings. Avoid falling behind and paying extra. Don't be the last one in line. Our nation's power supplies are shifting. Wait too long and you may wind up paying for it. Want to completely eliminate your power bill? Get all the tax incentives you're entitled to while you still can. And do it locally because local is accountable and we finance. Call 1-800-MY-SOLAR for a free in-home assessment. 1-800-MY-SOLAR.
My home, my savings, 1-800-MY-SOLAR.
I need a data backup solution for my business to replace my current tape backup device.
Do you want to spend a lot of money?
No.
Do you want to store and pay for replicated data?
No.
How about a solution that's difficult to install and use?
No.
Offshore automated phone tree support okay?
No.
Then yes, we can help.
Barracuda Backup. End-to-end protection for physical and virtual servers, including data deduplication to significantly reduce storage requirements, and replicated cloud storage for assured recovery, and live humans to answer your calls. Try Barracuda Backup free. Go to barracuda.com/yes.
Hi, I'm Jada De Laurentiis. My brother Dino was so funny. He was always smiling. When he was diagnosed with melanoma, we were in shock. We didn't know anyone who had skin cancer. He died from a mole, the size of a thumbtack. Melanoma can happen to anyone. Anyone. Every hour, someone dies from melanoma. It doesn't have to be someone you love. Take action at curemelanoma.org. Go to standuptocancer.org to learn more.
I want my company's network to be safer and more reliable.
Do you want to deal with multiple vendors?
No.
Are per user fees and added feature costs okay?
No.
How about solutions that are hard to install and use?
No.
Offshore or automated phone tree support okay?
No.
Then yes, we can help.
Barracuda Networks offers the largest family of powerful, affordable security, networking, and storage solutions designed to protect business users, apps, and data. All from a single source that's easy to do business with. Protect your business. Visit barracuda.com/products to try any free for 30 days.
I love weekends because I get to spend quality time with my kids, driving them around, which I love. Hockey games at 4:30 a.m.? Love it.
Life is a long drive. Make sure your car's along for the ride. Mobile Super Motor Oil is formulated to help prevent sludge and protect against wear. Mobile Super for long engine life. Now at Advance Auto Parts, get a 5-quart Mobile Super conventional oil change with filter for just $16.99. See store for details. Certain restrictions apply.
Hello and welcome back to the Game and Movie Empire Show. I'm Arthur and I'm here with Watson. Say hi, Watson.
What up, dog?
As well as Sonic Toast.
Yabba dabba doo.
And we were talking about Comic-Con here locally in Utah. We were just kind of talking about some of the guests that were there. And Sonic Toast, you interviewed. Tell us a little about one of the interviews you had.
Okay, well, actually, I only did have one interview, but it was so good, I felt like I could only go downhill from there. So, anyway, I got to interview Rob Paulson. For those of you who don't know who that is, he was Yakko in the Animaniacs. He was also Dr. Scratch and Sniff in that same show. He did the voice of Pinky in Pinky and the Brain. And then, to another credit, he was Raphael in the 1980s version of Ninja Turtles, and also Donatello in the modern Nickelodeon Ninja Turtles. So, within 20 years, he switched turtles. And
awesome. So tell us about it. Like, how was he like, and how was the interview? How did it go?
My goodness, he was probably definitely the nicest celebrity I've ever met. he was incredible. How you're talking to him, and he'll just pop into a random voice. Not random. One character he was Antoine in the Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon 20 years ago, and so I was asking him a question about Antoine, and all of a sudden he just, "Oh, sacre bleu, I am Antoine." Just all of a sudden he is the character.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and he was fantastic. My favorite thing about him, though, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Yakko's World from Animaniacs. It's a song that Yakko sang, where he sings every nation in the world in just one ongoing song.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I asked him, do you still know every word to Yakko's World? He says, every last word. I know the whole thing. And yeah, he sang the first. He let me do the first verse with him as a duet because that's like my favorite song ever too. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's checked off my bucket list.
Yeah, totally. Where are you going to put that on your YouTube channel or something, or what are you going to do with that interview?
Yeah, totally. Going to put it on YouTube. My friends took the sound recording, so I just got to get that from them, and then I'll put the whole thing on.
What's your YouTube? Since we're talking about it, we might as well.
Yeah, Toast. It's youtube.com/sonictoast. So easy enough. Sonic Toast, all one word.
Awesome, man. Cool. Well, that's cool. Let's see. So that's a great. We got to interview some awesome cosplayers this time around. We didn't interview too many celebrities just because we won't lie. We were slammed at Sundance, so we were kind of, but we got some really cool interviews with cosplayers. But let's talk about who we've interviewed in the past. Who's someone who we've interviewed in the past that you've really enjoyed?
Well, I mean, there was a Green Power Ranger. That was fun. I think he was one of the first celebrities we interviewed. Mm-hmm. Now that I think about it. How about you, Watson?
Well, okay. Well, there was two that come to mind when I say it. So the first one was probably Chandler Riggs, and Chandler Riggs is the kid Carl from Walking Dead, and he was a really cool guy. He's also a gamer. The cool thing about it is when I interviewed him, he actually shared it on his Facebook page, and so it got a lot of views from that. So he must have thought it was a cool interview, I guess. My second one is actually Veronica Taylor, which
nice.
I don't know if you know who that is, Mr. Toast. But for those who don't know out there, Veronica Taylor voiced a little someone named Ash Ketchum. And for the American version, obviously, and she
for like 8 seasons or something.
Oh yeah, for quite a while, and she was awesome. You can actually find both of these interviews on our YouTube channel. Maybe we can post them in the chat if it lets us. So those who I were really excited to talk about. Our interview. We also got to interview one of the hobbits in. Not the Hobbit, one of the dwarves in the Hobbit. We got to do that. I think the first Comic-Con actually. We got to interview them, and so we've gotten some pretty good some stuff. Those are our favorites. We have quite a bit on our YouTube channel. We got to film the Hobbit panel. We got to do some really cool coverage with Henry Winkler, who played Fonzie. That was awesome. Yeah, I got to ask him a question, and he was awesome. So.
Did he go, hey?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't think he did, actually.
It is kind of sad, though, growing up watching the Fonz, and then you see him walking around as kind of a hunched-over old man with the cheap used car salesman suit on. I mean, it is a little bit of a letdown from the Fonz with the jeans and the jacket, but time is something that just marches on for all of us.
It's true, and and this is the thing is so Christopher Lloyd came to this this Comic-Con, and for those of you who, I've probably talked about Back to the Future every show so far. So Back to the Future is my all-time favorite movie. So when I heard Christopher Lloyd was coming, I was like, holy crap, I'm going to there to see him. But it was interesting because it was kind of the same thing like you said, Pat. Like he's an older guy. Like he has kind of some older tendencies. He rambled. He couldn't really. The great thing probably was during the Christopher Lloyd panel, he did say that if there was a Back to the Future 4 or any kind of Back to the Future something, that he would do it. That was pretty awesome. And then he also quoted my favorite quote in all the movies, which is, "Roads where we're going we don't need. roads. That's my favorite. That's my favorite quote. I think it's on my Facebook under quotes. That's my favorite. So real quick, we have a couple questions here. Please keep the questions coming. It says, if I were to cosplay, I'd have to include a mask. What about you all? Well, I don't. I'm actually planning a couple. Hopefully, I tend to be ambitious when I plan my cosplay. When really I should just, throw on a fishing vest and become Walter from The Big Lebowski. But I tend to. I really want to be. I'm thinking of Blastoise for September or Goron from Legend of Zelda. Those guys with the spiky backs that roll and stuff, kind of like Sonic, I guess.
Now, Watson, if you were to be Blastoise, would you set up some kind of like water pump in your shelves?
That would be like super soakers.
Yeah,
dude, that would be awesome. And then I could just I'll do like the chicken, and all of a sudden it just sprays at people.
I mean, if you're gonna do it, you got to do it right. So
yeah, no, that's a good idea, Arthur.
You'd make a lot of angry guests.
Angry guests, or people would be like, oh yeah. So
make them happy. Instead of shooting water, maybe you could shoot out like candy or something.
Yeah, but I don't know. What about you guys? If you guys could cosplay, I know you are. At least I've seen you be Luigi before.
Yeah.
So what about you guys? What do you think? Are you a cosplayer, Arthur?
Not really. I mean, we did that one Lord of the Rings spoof once, and I make a pretty decent Hobbit, but I don't know. If I could be Gordon Freeman, I need the orange suit.
Easy.
But
I guess the suit would be hard. I guess. What about
See,
you?
for me, I'm the opposite of you, Watson. I go for the easy one. Like, I used to always cosplay as Gilligan because that's a really easy costume.
Nice.
And you can be comfortable walking around Comic-Con, in regular clothes, just wearing a sailor hat and stuff.
Yeah.
I do Luigi a lot because I already have a mustache, so I don't have to even wear a fake mustache. And it's nice and comfy because I go to Comic-Con to, see all the cool stuff, attend the panels. And when you're in a big costume, that can be difficult sometimes.
Maybe in September, I'll be your Mario.
Ooh.
I have to shave my beard, but I'll keep my mustache.
Mario.
Yeah, he does a really good Luigi impression. If we could see more of that, please.
Oh, Luigi, where are you? Mario, he wanted to hear me talk, not you. But I'm the star. I should be talking all the time. You go away now, Luigi. Aww.
Awesome.
I got a question for you, Matt. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interject.
Yeah, you're fine.
The movie, wasn't there a Mario Brothers movie? John Goodman was in it?
No, it wasn't John Goodman. It
John
was
Leguizamo.
Bob Hoskins was Mario. John Leguizamo was Luigi.
Yeah.
That was in 92.
What'd you think of that?
I loved it as a kid. Seriously.
Yeah, as a kid.
Yeah, I still have the action figures, still have the coloring book for it. But it's, looking back on it, it's kind of a mess.
Yeah.
Real mess of a movie.
Is there collectability to Mario Brothers and the stuff? Is there collectability to that?
Is there Sonic Toast? Is there collectability? That's a great question to ask.
Yeah, goodness, toast, rabbits, hippos. There is a ton of Mario stuff out there. You got to be careful because since it is a Japanese franchise, there's a ton of bootlegs out there of Mario stuff. But when you get the legit stuff, it can really go up in value. Like there was Mario Kart 64. It was like one of the biggest Mario games of the N64 period, and they made action figures. They sold them at Toys R Us. They were about $6 or $7 each, and now if you find those in the box, they're in the hundreds, hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, I went to Graywell. Is that where we went? I was trying to get a guy was looking for and we'll get to this, but a guy was looking for. Well, basically, I was looking for the Ocarina of Time for the 3DS, and that's becoming. I mean, it came out and it was $39.99, and now it's like $49.99 because it's so popular. But he said that he wanted he wanted Super Smash Brothers for the 64. In exchange for his Ocarina of Time, and
wait, for the 3DS version of Ocarina of Time, he wanted.
Yeah, that's what he wanted.
He's crazy, man.
Well, we went to Graywell because they said they had one, and it was $59.99, a price of a brand new console, or this gen console, and I was like. But luckily, he was an awesome guy, and he worked out a cool deal with me. So, and I ended up getting it. So, but it was just crazy to think that a game that was made like over 10 years ago now, I think. Maybe that's a little early. But
What are you talking about? Smash Brothers or
Smash
Ocarina of
Brothers,
Time?
yeah, Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
It's still as much as a price of a game that came out now.
Yeah, even though you can just download it on your Wii for like $10 or something.
Yeah, but it's not the same as owning it in your hands in plastic.
Yeah.
So, Sonic Toast, could you tell us a little about, like, I assume you have a collection, right, of sorts?
Yeah, a pretty healthy one, I might say.
Let's hear about it.
Okay, we're talking about Mario still. So if we go into games. If you count the Nintendo consoles, it's NES, Super NES, N64, GameCube, Wii, Wii U, Virtual Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, DS, 3DS. If you count those, I've got every single Mario game for those systems.
How many
right?
is that? Do you know?
There's over 200. Now, when I use the term Mario loosely because within Mario's universe, you all know Mario and Donkey Kong are in the same universe. So that means all those Donkey Kong games, I consider that to be part of the Mario collection. Same with Wario, Yoshi, the Luigi games. Toad just got his own game, so that's part of the Mario collection also. And then there's stuff like Smash Brothers, NES Remix, where the Mario characters play a very dominant role. So those also have to be part of the Mario collection. So yeah, it adds up to far over 200.
Yeah, I would say so.
But if you go back to the early 80s, they used to put Donkey Kong, the original game, on like everything. ColecoVision, all those different kinds of Ataris, all sorts of weird Apple computers and stuff like that. All of them had Donkey Kong. So I don't have all of those yet, but but Nintendo systems got them all.
Cool. I'm wondering, is there like maybe some more obscure titles that you think deserve a little more recognition?
Well, the reason why they're obscure is because they don't deserve that recognition.
Fair enough.
One that's really popular online is called Hotel Mario, which was for the Philips CDI system. Nintendo had a deal with them to where they could make a Mario game. And I have the game, but I don't have a CDI to play it on. But apparently it's atrocious, and it has all these animated cutscenes with just terrible voice acting. You see it online. Princess Peach is voiced by a man. You can tell it's a man just going, "Oh, Mario, thank you." That's what it sounds like.
Oh, man, so is there one piece of something that you really want that is just like, what is there one thing that you're still looking for that you really want?
One specific thing?
Or, well, you can name a few if you'd like.
Oh, man. Excuse me. Sorry. Anything specific, you just slap the Mario brand on anything and it's automatically gold to me. So one thing I did spot at Comic-Con was a lamp of King Boo. He's the final boss in Luigi's Mansion. Mm-hmm. And so it's like a ceramic King Boo, and you turn it on, he lights up. The whole character lights up. It was really cool looking.
Awesome. So really anything is something that you want.
Sure.
Is there a Mario comic book?
There is not a Mario comic book. Back in the Nintendo Power days and stuff, they did some Mario comics in that, but that's about it.
Cool. We're getting close to a commercial here, but let's did you have something you wanted to say?
Well, I was just thinking that maybe this is just me. I thought Luigi's Mansion was a little underappreciated.
I loved it.
I loved it, but it took me a long time to get into it.
Well,
Sorry,
have you
Luigi.
played the sequel? Have you played the sequel?
I haven't.
3DS?
I don't have a 3DS.
Oh.
There's a sequel on the 3DS.
There is a sequel on the 3DS.
I'm very new to handheld Nintendo, and we're going to get into that in this next hour. But I'm really excited about all these awesome games that are coming. All right, so we have about 2 minutes, I believe, before we go to commercial. Oh my.
How about a question
Let
for
me
you?
touch
This is from
Yes, please.
This is from Red on the other side of the pond.
Oh.
Red says, "Didn't Yoshi have his own game?"
Yoshi has had a handful of games.
Okay.
Many of which it's Yoshi and Mario partnered, but Yoshi still has the title credit for some reason. It's called like Yoshi Safari or Yoshi Cookie and stuff like that. But yeah, there are a handful of Yoshi adventure games. I think Yoshi Story is the only one where he's solo without Mario.
Didn't they just make one with? And I might be wrong. Didn't they make one for the Wii U that's a Yoshi game?
Yoshi's Woolly World. It actually has been postponed. It was supposed to be last year.
Gotcha.
But they did a stage for it in Smash Brothers already, which is pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
For a game that's not even released yet.
Oh, that's awesome. I think, let's see. Do we have any more questions in here? We can't get into something because we're about to go to a break. Adam says, Super Mario RPG, I need. Not too rare, but very awesome. What do you feel about Super Mario RPG? I know how you feel about it. What do you feel about it?
Personally, I'm not huge into RPGs. I haven't beaten Super Mario RPG. I'm like halfway through, I think I'm halfway through. It's a hard game. But yeah, I've got it on my Wii Virtual Console, and I also have the cartridge, of course. I kind of prefer it on the Wii because it's easier to just boot it up rather than hook up the SNES.
Totally.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
Well, I prefer the RPG light stuff because I'm not into RPGs either. I really love Mario and Luigi Superstar. I don't know if you've played those on Sonic.
Oh yeah, those are fun.
But they're so funny, so fun.